Hello Aries, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story, so we'll be looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section, we'll be looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you are a cross watcher, just know this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aries, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first. So we're going to look at your side of the connection, their side of it, and the energy in between the connection with oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the reading with tarot as we progress. So let's first start here, Aries, with your energy toward the person you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. All right, this is for Aries' side of this connection. Card was poking out, but it didn't feel intentional. I like when the cards hit the table or turn all the way around like that. Ooh, separation with patience. So you and this person are currently in a place of separation, and there's this energy of waiting that you're in. I don't know if you're waiting on them to come back, waiting on yourself to move forward. Yeah, because you're in this solitude energy. So this energy feels very stagnant. I don't know. I don't know what this is saying yet. I feel like I need to pull a little bit more. I need to see what's going on here. This person's energy toward you. I don't know if you walked away from this or if they did. I could also see this as like you had a lot of patience until you couldn't anymore, and then you had to walk away, or they walked away. I don't know yet. Like I said, okay, this person's energy toward you, Aries. Communication. Unfinished business. Know your worth with grief and sadness. I feel like this person is in this energy of grief and sadness when it comes to this connection. I don't think they're saying anything, though. They might be, but I don't think they are. They do see this connection as unfinished business. This Know Your Worth card, I feel like, is about you. Because I feel like this is about knowing what it is that you deserve. Because even if this person were to come back, like, you wouldn't want to just go back to how things were in a way, right? I don't know. We'll see what unfolds. I think maybe it was both. Like you had a lot of patience for this person in this connection and then they were the ones that walked away or something. Because it feels like both, but it could just be two different collectives. Truth of the of the connection between Aries and this person. Cards are all over the place today. Truth of the connection between Aries and this person. Romance. So the feelings that you have for this person, I feel like are mutual. I also feel like this person comes on really strong. It's like they come on really strong and then they withdraw. What is this? So there is something very intense about this connection. Oh, and there's this forgiveness card. I feel like you've had to do a lot of forgiving. Yeah, and that's what I feel like I was picking up on here. You've had to do a lot of forgiving this person. And I feel like you have really strong feelings for them, and I also feel like you know that they do for you too. But there's something, because look at the underlying, it's ego. So there's something Spirit's trying to bring through about this connection. Overall theme of this reading between Aries and this person. Pride keeps us apart. Inevitable. Okay. There's a cycle, because I feel like this inevitable is like, the cycle will inevitably repeat unless broken. Which I guess kind of goes against the word inevitable, but I feel as if this connection, it's like this, I don't know if there's this energy on waiting for this person to return or what, but Spirit has like a warning here. So it is for the higher good. Okay. And then there's that some people never change card again. So I feel like there's something about this connection is in separation, but it's in separation because of how things, like how this person behaved or handled this connection. And it's like there's this energy of wanting them back, but it's almost as if Spirit is saying, like, do you really? I don't know. Let's just see. Let's see how things unfold. Aries side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Something about this has been, like the word that comes to mind is romanticized. Something about this has been romanticized. Whoa. I'm going to take this card because it fell. The Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay, King of Cups in reverse. Oh my goodness, the Queen of Pentacles upright. The Five of Pentacles, oh my God, the Queen of Swords in reverse. Oh my goodness, these cards are all over the place in this reading. Okay, Four of Cups. And then there's the Hierophant. Okay, in this connection, there has been this energy of wanting things to get to a certain place. Like wanting a certain level of commitment or wanting a certain type of connection with this person. And always feeling as if you're falling short of that. Like as if you're not experiencing what it is that you're ultimately wanting in this connection. But I feel like you've been, you know, in this energy of being very patient. This Queen of Pentacles is this energy of being very stable, very solid, and kind of this energy of waiting on things to progress, waiting on things to get to where you want them to be. And I feel like you put up with a lot in the meantime because especially with the Five of Pentacles and then this King of Cups in reverse, because the King of Cups in reverse can be this energy of feeling like kind of playing with your emotions in a way where it's like there's a lot of hope that is presented to you, but then not a whole lot of follow through. So you're constantly in this energy of lack, like feeling as if you don't have what it is you want and need out of this connection, yet really seeing the potential of what this could be. Because I do feel like the feelings that you have are very strong, and I think that there's a lot of intensity in this connection, and I feel like you've experienced like glimpses of how things could be and what they could look like if things were to get to a certain point. So I feel like you're trying to do what you can to bring that to fruition. But I feel like something eventually ultimately led to this connection being in separation, because that's where it feels like it is right now. Whether this is, and it feels like it wasn't your choice. Even if you were the one that walked away, it feels like it was something that you felt you had to do because of this person's behavior. But there's this energy of really wanting things to eventually get to that place. And still kind of feeling this lack. And there's some sort of cycle. It's like this cycle of feeling like things are improving and getting better, and then feeling the disappointment when things don't change. Call it the hope disappointment cycle. Like maybe this person says something, or you see something and it gets your, it gets your hopes up about things changing, about this connection finally, working out or being what it is that you need, and then being disappointed when things don't change, and kind of this repetitive pattern here. This Queen of Swords in reverse is this energy of, it's almost like you see this connection as having so much potential to work that it's hard for you to really see any other avenue for you experiencing what it is that you want in love. Which I feel like is one of the reasons that you are holding out for that hope, because it's like that potential that you see. It's almost as if that's like, oh, that's everything that I want, is what this could be. So that naturally kind of keeps you holding on until, out of hopes that things are going to progress. But it feels like you've spent a lot of time being unhappy here. It's not that you are just like an unhappy person, but it feels like you've been spending time unhappy with how this connection has unfolded. And I feel like Spirit, because both of these cards, the Four of Cups and the Hierophant, this is different perspective, and this is needing to see things in a different way, like looking at things wrong in a way. I don't know what this is alluding to yet, but I feel like this is an important message that will start to develop as we move forward. Because this Knight of Swords in reverse is this energy of chasing. And waiting is chasing energy too. Because when we're waiting on someone to change or to choose us or whatever, we're not, our happiness, we feel as if our happiness is very dependent on that person. And that attachment, it can block us in a lot of ways. So I don't know necessarily what's going on here, but I do feel as if, just wanting things to be a certain way in this connection, even when this connection was together, feeling like you weren't quite there, and now there's some sort of separation and still wanting to get to that place with this person. So I don't know what is going on here. Let's see. I'm not supposed to. I'm uncovering it as we move forward. This person's energy toward you, unfinished business with grief and sadness. So one of my favorite things about doing readings is the story develops. I start to uncover what's going on, and I think that it's just really cool how that happens. Okay, this person's energy toward you. Okay, the first thing that came out is the Eight of Swords. It's in reverse. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The World. Two of Cups. Page of Cups in reverse. Oh. And the Hangman in reverse. Okay. This person is trapped in a prison of their own making. That's what I hear with the Eight of Swords. Trapped in a prison of their own making. This person... Okay. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot coming through and I'm trying to make sense of all of it to make sure that I relay it in a clear way. So bear with me. With this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, I see this as something karmic. This person is kind of trapped in something karmic, but the karmic cycle that they're trapped in is one that has repeated in their life for a really long time. And it stems from this place of, well, actually, I feel like I need to pull for this Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I'm getting this feeling too. Okay, Four of Swords. Okay, Page of Pentacles in reverse. All right. Because the Page of Pentacles in reverse is kind of this energy of immaturity or a need for growth. It's like they make decisions that are very rooted in, to be honest with you, it's like selfishness in some way or immaturity. And they don't do it to intentionally hurt anyone, but they do it because they're in this place of like self-preservation, where I feel like they make decisions in the moment that are very emotional because it feels like the best choice. So they do things that without really thinking. It's very reactionary. It's very, there's not a whole lot of thinking things through. And then it feels like they then turn around and then they have regret, but then they do the whole thing all over again. It's like this repetitive pattern, this repetitive cycle of making unhealthy choices and unhealthy decisions. And I feel like they brought that into this connection and into this relationship. This Page of Cups in reverse is this energy of emotional unavailability. And what emotional unavailability looks like is not being able to meet you where you desire to be met, whether that's emotionally or in terms of commitment or whatever the case is. It feels like this person is very closed off emotionally. And typically that stems from, a difficult past, unhealed wounds, unhealed traumas, or just like a lack of emotional intelligence, like emotional intelligence that hasn't been fully developed, which usually goes hand in hand with growth and healing. And it causes them to act in a way that is very detrimental to this connection, and I feel is actually very unfair to you. And I don't necessarily know what they do or how it plays out. And I feel like, again, that's not really for me to know. You know them, and you kind of know what it's all about. But I feel like it's important for you to know what's going on below the surface, because so much of the time we tend to take how other people show up in relationships and how other people treat us very personally, right? We look at it as a reflection of how they care about us or how they feel about us or whatever. But how people show up in relationships and honestly just in their life in general says more about how they feel about themselves and where they're at on their own journey than it has anything to do with you. And I think that what is really interesting about this person has done a lot of things. They've made a lot of mistakes in this relationship, and nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. But it feels like it's like the same mistake. They've made a lot of like the same mistake. Like there hasn't been growth or awareness around things that they've done. And then there's just like this repetition of some sort of pattern here. And that's what I feel like you've really put up with here, is you've put up with how this person has shown up in ways that are unhealthy or immature or not aligned with what it is that you deserve. And I feel like you've done that because you see the person that they could be if they were to grow or show up differently. And I think that you do love them and you do care about them and you want that for them. And it feels like and that's where I feel like romanticized or like idealized. It's almost as if you see this person through the lens of the version of them that they would be or that they could be if they were to heal, grow, and evolve. But then you get disappointed by the version of them that they are right now, that they're capable of being because of how much growth and healing they have done. This person does have love for this connection. However, it's very limited, and it's not limited because of how they feel about you. It's limited because they have a very limited capacity to give and receive love in a healthy way. It feels as if this person, because everybody does, everybody has a capacity to give and receive love, and that capacity is going to be directly dependent on how much someone is doing the work, how much someone is healing and growing and addressing their own patterns and their traumas and their triggers and working on themselves, right? That's going to either determine somebody's limited capacity or going to help them expand their capacity to give and receive love in healthy ways. And people can only love us to the extent they love themselves. They can only show up for us to the extent they show up for themselves. They can only be for us what they are for themselves. And when somebody is in a pattern of whether it's self-sabotage or making decisions that don't actually align with what they want, but align with like big emotional reactions in the moment, which can also be self-sabotage, they're not thinking about us in that moment. So their decisions, their actions, it comes off as very selfish. It comes off as if they don't care about us. It comes off as if, that they're not thinking about us, and they're not, but they're not doing it because they don't care. They're doing it because they don't have that capacity. And that's that self-preservation that I was kind of talking about. This person has a lot of growing up to do. They have a lot of work to do on themselves. And to be honest with you, there's really no guarantee that they are ever going to do that work, because that is going to be a very difficult project for them. They're going to have to get honest with themselves. And right now, they're not very honest with themselves. In fact, I think that they're very disconnected from the ways in which they need to grow. It doesn't mean they don't apologize, and it doesn't mean they don't say, oh yeah, I messed up. But when it comes to actually addressing the root cause, that's where I feel they tend to run or avoid or disconnect from what it is they're needing to do. And that's, where we have to kind of see things in a clearer light, or in a more direct understanding of what is going on. Because right now you're waiting on this person, or you've been waiting on this person to change for a really long time. But now there's a separation, and I feel like you're still waiting on them to change. I'm not going to lie, I don't like talking about this in readings because I do feel like sometimes people get addicted to hearing this message, but I do feel like this person is probably going to return, but they're not going to change. And based on where things are at right now, I don't see change. I see returning without change. They want to go back to how things were, but they don't want to have to be any different. And I think that that's where you're needing to be very careful about how you approach this. And this is like the warning I feel like Spirit has about this connection is, and going back to what I said at the beginning, it was like, you want this person back, but do you actually? Because what you want is for them to be the person that you know that they can be, right? But what you keep accepting is the person that they currently are. And what you accept, you are saying like, this is okay with me, and I will continue to invest in you even if you show up like this. And I feel like there's a need for you to be very careful in what you allow, because there's something deeper here. This represents some sort of karmic pattern in your life too. I feel like this person has a karmic pattern of pushing away, sabotaging, or like running from love. But it's almost as if it reflects some sort of karmic pattern within you too that Spirit's trying to draw to the surface, because there's something about how this was placed in your life to help you heal, grow, evolve in some way. And I feel like that's why you have it, is for the higher good. But this inevitable card is this connection will inevitably repeat. Like this person will inevitably do the things that they have shown you that they're going to do. Like this person has showed you who they are. Now they see this connection as unfinished business. They see the potential in it too. They have love for it. All those things are true. But that doesn't mean that they're changing. And I will say, I think we tend to idealize people changing as, oh, this person changes because they love and care about me so much. But people don't change for other people. People don't change so that they can be what you need them to be. People change when they realize that they need to, because it affects them. Unfortunately, human beings pretty typically inherently selfish, self-preservation, all those things. People don't change for other people. They change for themselves. And it feels like this person is very disconnected from the awareness that they need to change. It feels like they kind of just have a lack of awareness in general. Maybe a lack of self-awareness, emotional awareness, things of that nature. It doesn't mean that they're unintelligent. It doesn't mean that they're not, they're just a bad person. It means they have a lot of growing up to do. They have a lot of work to do on themselves. But again, like you could say that about somebody who's 60, 70, 80 years old. Like a lot of people don't grow. They just get older. And sometimes it's hard because we don't understand why somebody won't grow, especially if it means they get to experience something that does have so much potential, right? Because it's like, well, if you see, this being what, it could be too, then why won't you show up for that? And the answer to that is a little bit complicated, but it ultimately boils down to the truth that a lot of people don't want to face what they need to do to change. It's the classic tale of trying to change everything and everyone around them, but not changing what's going on inside of them. I feel like this person is very like, there's a stubborn energy to it. They're very rooted in their ways. They have a certain way of showing up in relationships and in the way that they do. And they don't want this, right? They're trapped in a person of their own making. They want love. They want to experience what they feel they could have in this connection, but yet the energy that they show up in goes very much against that. It's kind of the same thing as like wanting to run a marathon but never getting off the couch and training. It's like you can say you want it all day long, you can have that desire, but if you don't do the work, you're going to show up on marathon day and you're going to fail, right? You're not going to make it. And it's about understanding the difference between like somebody having love for you and somebody having the capacity to love you well. Because you deserve relationships that have the capacity to love you well, to choose you, to value you, to show up for you. And I think that's it's like romanticizing this a little bit. Oh, they're returning because they see my value, or they're going to change because they love me. And Spirit saying, you got to break that illusion a little bit, because that illusion is going to keep you trapped and coming back to something that continues to disappoint you. And I did an Aries reading. There's been this big message with the Aries collective about not going back to spaces that you have had to spend so much time healing from. And I'm really feeling that in this reading too. Like just being careful about repeating certain patterns in your life, because you deserve so much more than what you've experienced to this point. But if we want to experience more, we have to decide we deserve more, right? A lot of times we wait for other people to realize or to change so that they can be more for us, but that's usually where we're not seeing the mirror, which is that we are very rarely actually waiting on other people, and we're usually waiting on ourselves to see that we deserve more and to stand tall in that. So I think that's what Spirit was saying, was like, you're looking at this wrong, or like there's this need to see things clear, because there's something about like romanticizing this, but there's a need to kind of see things as they are, like maybe seeing things through the lens of illusion and needing to see things a little bit more through the lens of like reality, or like grounded truth in a way. I see the romanticization. I see the romanticizing concept a lot when somebody labels someone as like a twin flame or a soulmate. It's like, oh no, like there's more to this. There's, and I do believe that every connection that we have can mirror us and serves a purpose. I've experienced a twin flame connection before. I highly do believe that there are people that we meet that can change the course of our lives forever. But when we romanticize the purpose of connections, or like the purpose of somebody changing, of us receiving what it is that we deserve, we keep ourselves trapped. And I feel like this person is trapped in a karmic cycle just as much as you are. It's just like there's a mirror here. So I feel like Spirit wants to dive more into that. I feel like Spirit still has a lot to say about this connection too. So we're going to hop on over to the extended, and we're going to dive deeper into this. You have forgiveness with romance. Like I said, I'm going to dive into the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. And then, so I'll pull 12 more tarot messages looking at that. And then I've got an advice card to pull at the very end. So any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Aries, as always, for your support of me as a reader. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aries.